going on a little virtual vacation to some cool spots in France. Well, let me start off with saying bonjour et bienvenue à la classe. I speak a little bit of French. Does anyone know any French?
Bonjour. It looks like
Bonjour.
No Spanish.
Oui.
Oui. C'est bien?
I know Spanish.
You know Spanish? Okay, so they're part of the Romance language. So they're similar. They all stem off of Latin.
Spanish and I can speak British.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to teach you guys a little bit of French. So when you greet someone, you say bonjour, comment ça va? So comment ça va means like how are you? How are you doing? Do you want to give that a try? Bonjour, comment ça va?
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Bonjour.
Comment?
Comment? Bonjour.
Ça va.
Ça va.
Good. And you would reply with je suis bien. Like I'm good. Je suis bien.
I can't pronounce that.
Bien.
Je suis bien.
Je suis bien. Merci. Très bien. Or if you're not feeling too hot, you know, you're kind of just in the middle, you can say je suis comme ci, comme ça. Comme ci, comme ça means so-so. Just like comme ci, comme ça.
I know a little bit about it, but I know like now I barely speak English. Like I'm speaking more British than English.
Okay. So like with the accent. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to open it up a little bit and see what do you guys know about France? Like anything that you just know off the top of your head about France?
They have the greatest. They have the greatest. I forgot the name.
That's okay.
Alea, were you going to say something?
I was, but I forgot it.
You forgot it.
That's okay.
That's
okay.
Oh, they have the greatest baguettes.
The greatest.
That's what I was going to say.
I remember one day when somebody from France came to go there, and they let us try them, and they were so good.
Yeah, they have really good food. The French have really, really good food. All right, so you guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
We're gonna see some cool places. All right, so first place first, we're gonna go where everyone I'm sure is familiar with, which is Paris. So we're gonna go dive right into Paris. We are going to go to the Eiffel Tower, La Tour Eiffel. And we are gonna take a close-up look at it right here. So here are some cool pictures of it, taken by people who are actually right there. Now, does anyone know any cool facts about the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, you can go. You can go.
You can go in it. You can go in it.
It's one of the tallest.
Elevator or stairs.
Go ahead, Bri. What were you going to say?
It's one of the tallest buildings in the world.
It is. Do you know when it stopped being one of the tallest buildings in the world? Do you know what year? Anyone? So, La Tour Eiffel was the tallest structure in the world until 1930. So all the way up until 1930, it was the tallest in the world, and then buildings started getting taller. I think it was probably Empire State Building, I want to say, probably beat it out. So that's how...
Isn't that in New York?
That is in New York. But it was the tallest structure in the world, and then eventually it got beat out by some buildings in other places of the world. So if you look on the map here, this is it. Right here, right on the Seine. And it's a little tricky to do a street view with this one, but I'm gonna give it a try. There's a little guy right here that you can just drop. Oh, there we go. It's right on there. So Google Maps has this really cool ability where you get a little person and you can drop them kind of down on the ground. And that's when you know, have you ever seen the Google cars drive by? Oh my, this is a very funny looking thing. The Google cars, when they drive by and they're taking pictures in that 360 camera, this is what they do, so that you can actually go down every street and you can see it like as though you were walking there. So we're gonna move from the Eiffel Tower. We're going to go to our next place, which is the Louvre. Anyone know anything about the Louvre? Anyone heard of the Louvre?
I haven't heard of it, but I know another thing about France.
Okay, what is it?
If you go to a restaurant and you just say what you want, like if you don't say hi, I would like to order.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like say, I would like this. They wouldn't answer you.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure that's common for most places. So here's the Louvre. It is a famous museum, and it houses some of the world's most famous paintings. Does anyone know what's housed there? Anyone? Yes.
Mona Lisa?
The Mona Lisa, yes, correct. The Mona Lisa is housed in the Louvre Museum.
Great job, Aiden.
Very good. So here's what it looks like under the dome. So you see they've got some cool art pieces, statues and stuff. I believe it was a private collection before they changed it into a public museum. Here's another look. There it is. So a lot of the paintings are actually stored underground. So there's the top half, the top building, which is all over here, and then underneath, like you see, like underneath the domes and everything, underneath in the basements is where they keep a lot of the paintings, because the climate is easier to control, and they last longer in that darker, more tempered climate. So here's the Louvre, and you can visit paintings and lots of art, classical art. We are going to be moving now to the Champs-Elysees, which is another trademark. Yeah. The Champs-Elysees. Anyone know anything about the Champs-Elysees? Has anyone seen it?
What does it look like?
Well, we're about to find out. We can drop our little guy here. No, I think I dropped him a little too far. Hold on. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Okay. There we go. Here's the Champs-Elysees. So it's that big street, that huge street that you see. Let's take a look. So here we are on the ground. Anyone know what it's known for? No?
No.
Okay. The Champs-Elysees is a famous street, and it's known for having probably like their most glamorous, prestigious shops there, like designers, stuff like that. And it's also really big for when they do their big, national holiday. Bastille Day, like military parades, they come down this way. So we can actually take a walk. We can go ahead and walk down where I know we're stuck behind some cars. But the cool thing about Google Maps is they let you kind of walk around. See, there's a little arrow button, and you just click it, and it'll jump you forward. So you see it's lined with shops, and it's got, there you go, Lancôme. They have a Disney store, Zara. They have a bunch of shopping here. So it's a big, big shopping place. Anyone know what that is at the very end? Anyone know what that is? Because we're going to be going there next. Anyone recognize that? No?
I don't.
Okay, it is called the Arc de Triomphe, the Arc of Triumph. And it was put up at the end of the French Revolutionary War as like a monument of triumph, the Arc de Triomphe. And we are going to actually go there next. Let's go ahead and just walk down here a little bit. So here there's like those famous billboards. You can see right here. Look, they even got a Nike store. I mean, they got everything you ever want to shop at. It's down here in the Elysees. Got some sightseeing. Whoop. Okay. It's a really cool blend of modern shops and old architecture, which I think is kind of cool. We're just gonna keep walking down the Champs-Élysées. If you were to go shopping in France, what shop would you want to be able to see? It can be an American shop. What would you want to see if you were to go shopping?
The Disney store.
The Disney store? Oh, I'd be in the Disney store too. I love the Disney store.
Me too, Aiden.
Because I will buy all the Stitch plushies they have.
Uh-huh.
I have one with me.
I would go to Zara because I literally order stuff from there like every week for Kingston.
Mm-hmm. So here they have like a little bistro de champs, so a little bistro, little cafes. Okay, I don't know what it is about me, but if I start walking down Google Maps on the wrong side of the road, I start getting nervous. Like I don't know what it is. All right, so we're almost there. We're going to be coming up to the Arc de Triomphe. Like I said, it was put up. There it is, the Arc de Triomphe. So it was put up at the end of the French Revolutionary War. And they have this humongous roundabout. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I don't know if my screen went out there for a second. Okay, this is the humongous roundabout that they have. It's huge, and it already makes me nervous trying to drive that thing. But so they have this big, huge roundabout, so you get a full 360 view of the Arc. And as you can see, it's a big tourist attraction. A lot of people like to go and stand there. We're gonna get up nice and close. There we go. So that is the Arc de Triomphe. You can see they've got all their beautiful artwork and statues that they've put on there. And so that's about it for Paris. Does anyone have anywhere else they want to see that I haven't suggested? Just in Paris?
Nowhere I really want to go, but that thing is beautiful.
It is. It's French architecture is one of my favorites. They're just so beautiful with how they do things.
Can we go where the Twin Towers fell? Can we go where the Twin Towers fell?
That is not in France.
Mm.
All right. So we are going to be moving out of Paris. We're going to be moving more into the countryside. And we're going to go to this really, really cool place called Mont SaintMichel. And a little history about Mont SaintMichel was it was originally a monastery. And later, it was used as a really important stronghold for a lot of wars and whatnot, like old wars. And you'll see why it was such an important stronghold because it was nearly impossible to siege, because you'll see, and it's really interesting. It's only accessible certain times of the day, and then other times of the day you can't get to it at all. And we're gonna see why. It's really cool. So we are gonna go ahead and move all the way over to Mont SaintMichel. All right, so we're gonna take a look here. We're up in Normandy, and here it is, right here. Right, so there's a street, and there's this little kind of island out here. So it looks like you can get to it pretty easily, but when high tide rolls in, it looks like this. It turns into an island when the high tide rolls in, which is really interesting. Here's one of my favorite. So you can see like the old citadel and all the old villages and stuff. I'm trying to find a picture. That one's pretty. So it's really, really cool. So the water, and during high tide, the water comes up and you can't get to it at all. Actually, and I have a little video to show you guys of it as well. So we are gonna go ahead and, we're gonna go over here. Don't worry, there's no music or anything. So it's up in Normandy. And this is some drone footage of what it actually looks like during high and low tide. So there's low tide, right? And there's a time lapse of the water coming in. So that's what it looks like during high tide. You cannot get to it. So if you're thinking back in the old times, you know, they're trying to break in or whatever, and then they're trapped by a big, huge natural moat, right? So the castle's totally protected. It's got almost all of its original architecture that you can still go and visit, which I think is really cool because I love old architecture. There's the chapel, the church. It's really, really, really beautiful. You can see the old bell tower. Bells are going. And there's an aerial view of what it looks like. It's the statue at the very top. So there's the road coming in, and then when it's during high tide, totally covered, so you cannot see it. What do you guys think? Is that kind of cool or what?
It's cool.
It's very cool.
Huh? So if you're out visiting there and the high tide comes in, well, you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait until the roads open back up.
So like, how much of the day is like the road covered? And
I want to say almost half, from what I recall. Yeah, because high tide comes in, right? There's low tide for part of the day, and then there's high tide for the rest of the day.
Man, so, you don't want to miss your ride out of that place.
No, you don't. Otherwise, you're waiting until it goes away. So it's also 302 feet high at the very top right there. And how grand and like amazing it is, and the fact that it's like almost like impossible to get into, actually, and like that strength actually inspired Joan of Arc for a while. She was really inspired by Mont SaintMichel. So that's a cool little tidbit. She was a big fan of it. She thought it was really cool. So we're gonna move on to one more little place on the French countryside called Am Provence. Does anyone know anything about Provence or anything like that? No, that's fine. That's why we're out here visiting, right? So, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. You're going to zoom in. We're going to take our little guy. And we're going to into Centre-Ville, which is the middle of downtown. Once my thing loads here. Oh no! I don't want to break Google Maps. Okay, there we go. Okay. So Am Provence is a really cute little area. And it's very rustic. It's a really rustic French countryside kind of village. So they've got a lot of like cute little fountains, and I love their little, the windows, the big windows and terraces on their buildings. They are known for their big street markets and their food. So I know I mentioned earlier, does anyone know anything else about French cuisine? Anything about French cuisine? Anything weird?
Can you show your screen again? Can you show your screen again? I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it not sharing?
It is on our end, Aiden.
Not for mine.
You might need to refresh your connection.
Your video is off, Aiden. If you turn your video back on, does that help at all?
I got it.
Okay.
Got it? Awesome. There's a little store here called L'Occitane. It's pronounced L'Occitane. And it's from Provence. And you can get them here too. But they're like a traditional French shop, and they've got like lotions and stuff, and they smell really good. And I like just to go in there to smell everything because it smells all fresh. There's these people just walking down, just kind of stalking these people. Let's see. So there's like lots of little shops and towns and the really narrow European streets. And we're gonna go back just a little bit. We're gonna go look at some of their pictures. So here's what I was talking about, right? So they've got huge markets. They've just got big street markets. Everyone goes to the market. Here's kind of where we were, one of the fountains. Right? It's beautiful and old and rustic, and it's just a beautiful French countryside. So I have not actually been there, but I've always wanted to go. Let's see what else we can find. Let's see.
There's this one place I always wanted to go.
Yeah? Where is it?
I wanted to go to Tokyo.
That would be cool. We can probably do another trip out that way. So yeah, they're known also for their beautifully like tree-lined streets. Le Bus. Let's follow this street a little bit. A lot of one-way streets. It's just beautiful and peaceful. So I love it.
Have you been to France?
I have been to France, yes. There is, you know what? Oop, 1 second. I will find you a picture one of these days. My mom posted of me and my brother, and we're rowing one of the boats in the, at one of the castles. There's little rowboats you can go in, and it's me and my brother, and we're rowing the boat. And yes, I've been to France. I didn't speak French at the time, which was unfortunate. But now that I do speak French, I would love to go back and test my French knowledge. So one of the things I like about Google Maps is that you can really go and explore the world without even leaving. Like you get to see everything basically, right? Let's go. There's one more place I want to take you guys. We're gonna go to Bordeaux because Bordeaux is gorgeous. So here we have one of their famous bridges. One of their famous structures when it starts so low. Oh no, did I break it again? There we go. There's one of their old little castles in there. One of the things I love about France is their beautiful churches. Like, they're beautiful, beautiful churches. Here's one of the more modern bridges. Here's a better view. So what I love about parts of France is that they've kept the skyscrapers down. You know, they've kept them pretty low so that all the beautiful old architecture still is, you know, showing. Here's an old chateau. Anyone know what a chateau is? A chateau is the French kind of equivalent of a mansion.
Or was going to say house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's a big house. Chateau. So yeah, that's kind of what I have had planned so far of our little trip to France. And what did you guys like the best on our little trip?
I think the architecture was super cool. I mean, it looks so different than what we see on a daily basis.
I know, it's so beautiful and so old and rustic. Like, it's very common to have very old buildings.
Go ahead, Aiden.
I liked all of it.
You liked all of it?
Art.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I thought it was cool that you showed like the city side of it and then the countryside also.
Yeah, because we get so wrapped up in just seeing one part of a place, like a country. Like, I feel like for people who are not from the United States, or they only think like New York, right? And they don't think of all the beautiful like countrysides or the beautiful countryside that we even have here, right? But if they wanted to, they could go on Google Maps and they could drop their little person down and just walk around. And I've done this. I used to do this with my friends, especially a lot of my friends who are from other places, like other parts around the world, is we would take each other on Google Maps tours. And they'll show me like, oh, here's the local store that I go to when I say I have to run to the store. And, you know, here's my school or here's my work, right? So you get to see another side of the world through, you know, this amazing technology that we had. Like, I remember growing up and hearing about Google Maps, and when it finally came out, it was so cool because, you know, it's hard to get out that far sometimes, you know, especially across the world, and it can be expensive and other sorts of things. And so, especially right now, it's not safe to travel. So you can still go and you can still look and you can still go and visit some of these amazing places still from home and just get to like just look at least. And I think that's pretty cool.
Alea, did you have a favorite part? You were muted, kiddo. Did you have a favorite part?
Oh.
Bride, did you have a favorite part?
I liked all of it.
Yeah, would you guys want to go visit France in person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to go visit with you, Miss Katie.
So I can be the translator?
Yes, I loved hearing the language and how you immersed us in everything and used all the different tools for us to be able to be engaged. But yeah, my next trip is going to be with Miss Katie.
I'll take it. I'll go. Yeah, my French is very rusty. speaking, but I can read it very, very well. So
I
can read the signs and know where we're going.
What were the things you were teaching us in the beginning? I really just want to hear your voice, but maybe we'll be able to repeat it.
Oh, well, I can do it again. So I went over how to say, like, hello, how are you? Which is, you know, you greet someone, you're like, bonjour. And to ask how they are is comment ça va? So it's spelled like comment, but it's pronounced comment because the French like to drop a lot of their letters for some reason. So it's comment ça va?
Comment ça va?
Yeah, comment ça va? And to reply, like, oh, like, I'm doing well, you know, you'll be like, je suis bien. So je suis means I am, and bien means good. Je suis bien. Or if you're not feeling too hot that day, you can be je suis comme ci comme ça, which means like so-so. Comme ci comme ça.
Comme ci comme ça is also like Spanish.
Like más o menos?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Well, so French, Italian, Spanish, and actually kind of Portuguese all stem from Latin, which is they're considered Romance languages, like Romance. So they're all stemming from Latin. So a lot of the words that I love languages. So a lot of the words are very, very similar, and a lot of the syntax is very similar as well. So a lot of the actual sentence structure is very similar, and how they do their noun, their verb, their adjective, all that kind of stuff is very similar. Now English is an Anglo-Saxon Germanic language, so we form our sentences way differently. Mm-hmm. And English is also very well known for it likes to take a lot of words from other languages. So English is built up with a lot of different languages. So that's why it's really interesting when you read like French or learn French, is a lot of the words you're like, oh, that sounds like English. And it turns out English actually took that, you know, from French or from Spanish. So it's really interesting. I could go on and on about languages. I love languages.
I can tell. That's awesome.
I love learning them. But so French, I studied French for 7 years and took like a high level course in my freshman year of college. They're like, you passed all the beginner and intermediate. We'll just go ahead and put you in advanced. So I'm like, okay. So I took French for a long time. Like I said, I'm very rusty, but I can listen and I can read pretty decently, enough to kind of get the gist of what's going on. So but I love France.
Provence and L'Occitane.
L'Occitane. Yeah, L'Occitane en Provence is it's like a beauty store chain. They do skincare.
Yes, that's what I remembered.
And perfumes. I've used their stuff before a lot. And a lot of them are recipes or, you know, stuff from ingredients that they have in Provence. So, and I always used to go there because my mom would be like, go into the store because that's French and try out, you know, your French in there and reading the French in there. And it's nice. And they have things written in French. So one of the best ways you can learn it is just to start reading it. And, yeah, so L'Occitane is in France. Bordeaux is where we get the chocolate, the Bordeaux chocolate, and the wines and stuff. So so wines in France are usually named after the region in which they were made. So that's why they get that name. Like Bordeaux or Merlot, stuff like that. So France is really cool, and I really like it, and I'd love to go back, and it's got a lot of rich history and culture, and Paris is a really cool place to go to, and especially if you like a lot of stuff like art. It's really cool, and then the countrysides are just breathtaking, so I highly recommend it. I highly recommend getting on Google Maps if you can, and just one of the things I like to do is just do random. There's an option where you can just do random and it'll just drop you somewhere. And then you just go explore. Like, just go wander around, be be a tourist.
Great idea.
So girls that are on this call, you all should do that sometime, maybe this weekend or maybe sometime next week. You just see where Google Maps drops you, and then next time we do a Zoom call, we can all let Miss Katie know where we went and what we learned and what sort of things we saw.
Yeah, just like what country you went to, you know? It's really cool because you would be surprised by how both different and similar the world looks in other places. So, any other questions or comments or anything like that?
I would go if you didn't have to take a plane, because I'm terrified of planes.
If you didn't have to take a plane, yeah. I'm not a big fan of flying either, but they're safe. They're pretty safe. I'm sure you can always take a cruise, right? I think. I don't know if they have anything that goes out that way, but maybe.
So, Katie, this is I'm going on vacation the rest of the weekend. So I'm just going all over.
Yes.
Thing
yeah,
ever.
Google Maps is awesome for that. My friend in Australia, like, she'll show me like all the places that she, lives, and it's just so cool to have another look at somewhere else without, having to leave your actual home. You can just go poke around.
And Aiden, we don't have to get on a plane. We can just look at it on our screen.
Yeah. You can just look online. And you don't have to deal with any of the crowds, right? Like, you don't actually have to be in any of the crowds.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Miss Katie? Comments?
Any questions at all? Let's see where this takes us.
Very interesting.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's just some person's house. Well, I'm glad that you guys liked it. Merci pour ça. I'm very happy that you enjoyed it and that you got to see a little bit of France. And I'll have to think, you guys have to let me know where else you want to see, and we can plan another little virtual vacay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Katie.
Thank you. Bye, girls.
It's awesome.
Time.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Adios.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Miss Katie.